How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today I want to do a manga guide for the new Netflix anthology show, Junji Ito Maniac. This is an anime anthology series based on the works of Junji Ito. A lot of his short story stuff is getting adapted here, and I'm a really big fan. Now, that being said, I like Ito, so I really prefer to read the source material before I watch the show, and I decided, for my benefit as much as yours, to go and take a look at all my Junji Ito books, as well as a list of the episode names, and try to match them up and sort of make this guide where you can find the manga. And I actually do have down here, pardon me, it's quite heavy, but I do have all the Junji Ito books. I put them in this box to take them to the studio, and all of them together in hardcover are very heavy. But yeah, I do have everything, and I did a pretty deep search, and I think this is the best match. Now, that being said, I am looking at the American releases. I know that other countries, especially in other languages, have different releases than we do, but I'm limited by my perspective, obviously, and if anyone wants to say anything, their country, or any mistakes that I made in this video, if you have any comments on this listing at all in order to make it more complete, feel free to leave those in the comments. Now, I do want to say, I broke this down. There are 12 episodes, but some of those episodes are doubles, and in turn we have 20 stories, and sadly, 9 of those stories don't have an official release yet. I know, Junji Ito's works, for a while, they were few and far between coming over here. This problem is in the process of being rectified. Junji Ito books are coming out like at least 2 a year right now, so we are fixing the problem, but in turn, yeah, 9 stories that haven't made it over here yet. Now, that being said, I am recording this around the time the show came out, late January of 2023, and in turn, in the future, some of these, probably eventually all of them, will get an official release. Right now, we know tentative dates. Tombs, a Junji Ito collection, should come out March 28th, 2023, and a Soichis collection should finally be coming out July 25th, 2023. So more books are coming, and I'm betting that those will fill in some of the gaps. I really wish Netflix would put out a big, thick book of just all these stories in order, but well, we have what we have, right? Anyway, I do want to say also that these are the order the stories are in now. Netflix has been known to scramble anthology shows, and also Junji Ito originally wrote the titles in Japanese, so when they got translated into English, the titles could be translated in a few different ways, and in turn, if one of the books translated a title into something completely different, I may have missed it, but I think I did a pretty good job. And also, there is indiscrepancies between the IMDb listing and the official Netflix listing at the moment of recording. So yeah, this is a little bit harder of a task than I had hoped. But anyway, without further ado, let's go through all the episodes and talk about where you can read them. Alright, let's start out with episode 1, and this one's entitled The Strange Hikizuri Siblings, and this story can be found in Love Sickness. Now, that being said, the Hikizuri Siblings is actually a series. There are 2 of them, and you can find both chapters in here. The episode that's adapted onto Netflix is The Seance, but there is another story with them, Namuri's Boyfriend, which oddly enough, they adapt a random scene from that as the intro to the episode, and the events are made in a passing reference. But yeah, the episode's only an adaptation of the Seance chapter, and it can be found in Lovesickness. After that, moving on to episode 2, and this is entitled The Story of the Mysterious Tunnel and Ice Cream Truck. So this is the first double episode, and sadly, both of these episodes, to the best of my knowledge, have not been released in America yet. Hopefully, we'll get them soon. After that, we get episode 3, and this one's entitled The Hanging Balloon. This story can be found in Shiver. Shiver, a really good collection of Junji Ito's works, and a lot of them have been previously adapted in the Junji Ito collection. This is one of the few that was missing, and it's one of Junji Ito's best stories. It's great that we're finally getting an adaptation of it here. So, yeah, Shiver is a great collection. Go check it out. And this is where you can find the Hanging Balloon. Although I believe in this collection it's called the Hanging Blimps. Always a discrepancy there. Anyway, after that, we have episode 4, and it once again has 2 stories. The first one is called 4x4 Walls, or as IMBD and a lot of other people put it, The Room with 4 Walls. This one is not released in America yet. However, I believe it features the Soichis character, so it will more than likely be released with the Soichis collection January 25th. Just speculation, but very likely. The other one after that is called The Sandman's Lair, alternate title Where the Sandman Lives, and this story can be found in Deserter. Deserter's one of the newer story collections to come out, and I believe this actually features the most stories that got adapted into Junji Ito Maniac. So if you want the most bang for your buck, I think 4 of the stories come from Deserter. So that's where we get The Sandman's Lair, or Where the Sandman Lives. After that, we move on to episode 5, and the first story in episode 5 is called Intruder. Intruder can be found in the Frankenstein collection. Yeah, it's titled Frankenstein, but like Lovesickness, Frankenstein is a big story at the beginning, but there are several other things in here as well. And this is where you can find the Intruder story. After that, we have Long Hair in the Attic, which once again can be found in Deserter. I think way back in the day there was a collection called Long Hair in the Attic, but that is super out of print now. It's included in Deserter. That's the easiest way to get it. Moving on to episode 6, there's a short story called Mold. Sadly, this is another one that's not released in the US. I think I heard a rumor that in Japan it's collected in a collection named after the story Slug Girl, and I hope we get that one coming over soon. Slug Girl is a really big, popular Junji Ito story that it's really shocking that it's not been released in America yet. So I think I heard a rumor it's in that collection, so hopefully whenever we do finally get that, we can read this story. Anyway, after that, we have a story I really do love called Library Vision, and it is included in the Smashed collection. I really did have fun with this. If you want to read it, it's in Smashed. That's Library Vision. Moving on to episode 7, the episode is a single one, and it's entitled Toontown. Sadly, Toontown is another one that we just haven't got over here in the States yet, unless somehow I missed something. But granted how the Junji Ito collection that's coming out in March is called Tombs, I would be willing to bet that it would probably feature the Toontown story. After that, episode 8 is another double, and that is Layers of Fear and The Thing That Drifted Ashore. And sadly, again, both these stories do not have an American release yet. After that, we have Tomie Photo, and this can be found in the Tomie collection, Junji Ito's most famous character probably. A really good, super thick book. Definitely would recommend you guys picking this up. But yeah, this is chapter 4 of the Tomie collection. But from what I gather, Tomie is relatively anthology. Definitely looking forward to picking that one up. It's still in my to-read pile. But anyway, after that, we have episode 10, and this one's entitled Unendurable, Labyrinth, and the Bully. And both of these stories can be found in Deserter. So, cool to see that they're both in one place. The Bully is sometimes referred to as Bullied. And I think that's how it's printed in here, and I think that's how it's printed in IMBD. So, The Bully, Bullied, same difference, right? Anyway, after that, we have number 11, Alley, or as IMBD puts it, The Back Alley, and Headless Statue, and sadly, once again, this is a double non-release in America, so these haven't come over yet. After that, we have Whispering Woman, which was a really good story that came out in Fragments of Horror. This is a really good collection as well. Probably my second favorite after Shiver. So Fragments of Horror for Whispering Woman. And then after that, we have Soichis Beloved Pet, which also came out in Smashed. I know, yeah, it's kind of weird. We are getting a Soichi collection later on, but Smashed actually does feature 3 Soichi stories. I do not know if these will be reprinted in the Soichi collection, or if you're gonna need this if you want to read all this stuff. But if you want Soichi, right now the only American released Soichi comics we have, I believe, are from this collection Smashed, and luckily one of those did get adapted here. But anyway, so that leaves us a total of 20 stories, 9 out of 20, almost half, are missing, which is kind of sad. If you want the most bang for your buck, Deserter had 4 stories adapted out of it, which 4 out of 20, nearly a quarter of the collection. I really do wish Netflix would be better about just, if you do a collection like this, you really should put out a collection book, or at least that's my opinion. I want a big thick book of Junji Ito stories called Maniac that is all these stories in their proper order, but I doubt they'll do that. I think they did that with Love, Death, and Robots, where they actually put out the source stories for those, but with this, who knows? I mean, it's a whole bunch of rights issues and stuff. All I can say is that I hope we do get the rest out soon. Like I said, we know of 2 more that are coming, and I believe there'll probably be way more than that. Viz is doing a good job trying to play catch-up, and we are getting at least 2 Junji Ito stories a year for the past couple years, and I do hope that we get these stuff. Really, I really want a collection with Slug Girl in it. It's just crazy that that one's missing. But anyway, I'm going to be watching this series. I've already watched the first episode, and I'm really looking forward to the rest, and I'll be doing my best to try to read the remaining ones that I haven't got to yet before I watch the episodes, if I have access to them. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Junji Ito playlist. The books that I've read, I've reviewed them, and you can find them here. I also did unboxings of the Uzumaki Pocket Curses, so this playlist is pretty big, and when I cover the story collections, I do mini reviews for every one. Those videos can get kind of long, so if you want to see me talk about a ton of Junji Ito, you can find that here. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Junji Ito collection on the bottom. Have a good day now.